All right, welcome back. Welcome back for real. It's been it's been a while,
A few weeks.
a few weeks, but don't I we're on vacation, and this was always going to be a temporary break so that we could recharge our batteries, and we are now back in the saddle,
Yes.
like the Aerosmith song, and we are here today to talk about three bands. We're kicking things off with a group called Con, followed by Light Creates Shadow and Neil Howell.
Yes.
So before we get started with Con, anything you want to let us know about them?
That they're from Australia and they're pretty amazing. I've been listening to them for a little while and one of their the album that they came out with, Veil, I had that on my end of year list when I was doing end of year lists. They're pretty phenomenal, and I'd put them. I saw a comment on Bandcamp that I completely agree with, that they should be put up there with the likes of Elder and King Buffalo.
Okay. Well, going into it, keep that in the back of your heads as you listen to us talk about the music, and that's a good precursor. So
Yeah.
the first album we're going to listen to is called Veil. The first track, I believe, is called Break Off Your Shells.
Yeah, and Veil, that came out in 2018. And Break Off Your Shells. I love the tone of the guitar. This is incredible heavy psych, haunting and soaring vocals. The guitar work creates a lot of energy. It's the type of energy that you can feel, energy that can change your mood. Lots and lots of glorious guitar in this song. Guitar for days. I loved every minute of it.
Yeah, I felt like this song started and the phrase all systems go repeated in my head like I was about to take part in a space shuttle blast off. And it's a really cool mid-tempo psychedelic stoner rock. And I just kept thinking this is something I would blast out of my car windows as I was driving around the open desert. I would just have this, like there'd be far away of the car, just like a speck going across, but you'd hear the music really loud, and then it would cut to me, and I would just be cutting donuts amongst the desert. So a great way to kick things off with "Break Off Your Shells," and then next up was "Wolves."
Yeah, this song has so much emotion. It's a song that can permeate your soul, move you to tears. It's so beautiful. The vocals can be so soothing and pleasing and also have the ability to just eviscerate you. I love the atmosphere that they achieve. There's this sense of floating or a sense of navigating through a dream.
Yeah, this one opens with progressive bass, or what I categorized as progressive bass, and it sounded like they were playing with polyrhythms. I don't really know what that means, but it sounded sophisticated, so I wanted to use the phrase polyrhythms. And then some psychedelic guitar. So and power, like really powerful vocals. It
Yeah.
reminded me of a Simpsons episode where Bart and Nelson are Huckleberry Finn and Tom Sawyer, and they keep getting shot with Derringer bullets, and it just bounces off them, and they say, "Those Derringer bullets are powerful weak." And I kept thinking, well, the vocals aren't weak by any stretch, but I just remember the word powerful. I was like, whoa, those are powerful vocals.
Yeah.
Um, and then the song becomes subdued with what almost sounds like a Pacific Island slide sound, like you're gonna hula. It was really cool how that sort of floated on like that. But Yeah, very much. The impression I'm getting right now is it's very much like a psychedelic stoner, but there's more stuff going on than just that. All right, and then the last track off of Veil is the title track, also.
The the artwork on their album shows sailboats, at the beginning of the song, I got the sense of what that might be like, sailing across the ocean. I love how the song goes from mellow to energetic and back again, from calm to stormy. The build up, the sound at the end of the song is just astonishing. It's a powerful, powerful end to the song.
Yeah, this track got the side head nod going right off the bat. And if you're new to this show, in 2018, when this album came out, I had a ruptured brain aneurysm. So I try not to headbang anymore. But instead, if I find a song I really like, I mean, not that I headbanged to begin with, but like I'll do a side head nod like this along with the beat. And right off the bat, as this song played, instinctively I was just doing the side head nod. It was hip. I wrote down the word hypnotic. It felt hypnotic. Um, and then, as you mentioned, the bottom falls out, and they go from like a quiet, loud, quiet model, sort of, the reverse, what I like to call the reverse Pixies, which was a loud, quiet, loud. Um, but yeah, no, a great album. I'm looking forward to repeated listenings of Veil. And then the next album in the progression was Monsoons, and the first track was called Orb.
And Monsoons was released in 2020. Um, this band is not afraid to change things up, and this is an instrumental record. It's like instrumental soundscapes. The song has this that beautiful atmosphere and that incredible guitar tone. It seems like the song is trying to tell us a story. What the story is, I don't know. I guess that's open to interpretation. The song feels very vast in scope. It's definitely a song you could let yourself get lost in and to get taken away.
Yeah, Orb reminded me a little bit of Lateralus era Tool, sort of not that it was industrial sounding at all, but just sort of the way that Tool is progressive in how they write music. This was a slow instrumental build into a cascading waterfall. That was the image that I got at the end. Um, and then, yeah, Harbinger, which was the next track.
Yeah, I recommend putting headphones on, laying down, closing your eyes, and just let the music wash over you. It's a great way to let any tension just melt away. Listening to this it's such a pleasurable experience. I love the way the bass and the guitar play off of each other. The repeating patterns give the song cohesiveness, and um I have to say I really like I really like the choices of songs that you made.
Thank you. Yeah, Harbinger. The only thing I wrote for this was I would train for NASA. I would go through a whole NASA training regimen just to be able to go into space, just so that I could listen to this song as I was floating through on zero gravity, because I feel like this would be the perfect psychedelic jam to listen to while you're free floating through space. I mean, I'm sure it's a phenomenal song to listen to under any condition. I mean, I would also, if I had headphones that could go underwater, I feel like that would be the next best thing, just being like in the ocean or being in a lake,
Yeah,
submerged, and just listen to this song.
yeah.
Um, but yeah, there's definitely a quality of it that's very much like you're going on an instrumental psychedelic journey. Um, yeah, so and yeah, very. I mean, similar in some elements to the previous album, but also, a complete left turn in terms of being instrumental and just delivering the goods. And then the last album was Creatures, and the first track off of Creatures was called Follow.
Yeah, Creatures just came, it was just released this year. Um, Follow, I was really happy to hear the vocals again. They are absolutely amazing. I just want to say for every song, it's so beautiful. It's so beautiful. It's so beautiful. It's so beautiful. The sound is very rich, expansive. It has such a power, and there's also the softer parts. And I really like how they weave those, those softer parts. I really like how they weave them in and out of the songs.
This one I felt like was a great example of everything the band can do. Like it was all represented in this song. It was like a symphony with progressive starts and stops, but like a stoner metal symphony. And while this song was playing, I was like, you know what? I'd love to see them play this song with an orchestra. Just sort of, like when Metallica would play with the San Francisco Symphony Orchestra or something I would love to see a full orchestra try to play Follow along with the band.
That would be
Yeah,
really cool to
that would
see.
be, but
Yeah.
you don't need it. You can just listen to Follow and understand what I'm talking about. In fact, if you haven't listened to the playlist that Heather's put together, hit pause, go listen now, and then come back. Do yourself that favor. And then next up, off Creatures, we have Eyes, Lungs, Arms, and Mind.
Yeah, I really like the opening of this song, the pacing and the guitar and vocals together. It just sounds really amazing. It's great how this builds and the heaviness of the guitars and the drums kicks in. I want to mention that I really like the album art too. Like I had it up on my TV, and the cover for the album was up on my TV, and there's just something about it. It's magical.
Yeah, this was another. I liked how they played with subtlety. This was like another subtle jam with a great layering of instruments. A very sort of subdued. I wrote subdued psychedelic voyage. So this was very much something where I feel like it was very controlled. Like the power, it was like MVP. Like the power was there. Should they wanted to unleash the beast, they could have. Um, but yeah, and then the last track, I tried to go with the title track off of Creatures, so I picked Creatures again.
Yeah, this song is on the mellower side, and it has these ethereal floating vocals, and the lyrics really struck me. um save her, save her from filth disgusting us, save her from all the wrong, save her from us, all these creatures crawling in her, all these creatures stealing from her. I just thought it's really a beautiful and powerful song.
Yeah, again, I got another sense that if someone were to ask me, like, hey, I'm going to put a gun to your head, I want you to just describe this band in, whatever comes to your mind first, I feel like I would say psychedelic Tool. That would be my description. Um, which I mean, and they've earned the right to now just be called Con and not compared to another band. But if I were to have to do that, that would be my descriptor. Although now I'll just say, dude, it's Con. Con sounds like
Yeah,
Con.
yeah, yeah,
Um, but yeah, well done. A great band to return to for episode number 63.
yeah, yeah.
Um, all right, cool. So now we've got either Light Creates Shadow or Neil Howell.
How about light creates shadow?
Okay, so Light Creates Shadow. The album is Ghosts Pass Through, Running from the Body. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, this was released in 2022, and I had not heard Light Creates Shadow before, so this is the first time listen for me. Um, I have a Beholden to the Riff t-shirt. I tried to find it to wear it, but I think it's in the wash. So, but I do have a Beholden to the Riff t-shirt, and Jared Johnson, the bass player in this band, he gives bass lessons, and he makes guitar tabs for bass players. And we had him in Happy Hour with Heather and Guest a while ago. He seems just like a really great guy, massively talented. So I kind of wanted to listen to this. I really enjoyed it. It reminded me of music from the 70s. Like it has a bit of a retro vibe to it. I saw one of the tags on Bandcamp is experimental post rock. I do really like the ethereal, the atmospheric quality of the music. I noticed some really detailed drum patterns. I also really like the progressive style this has. The songs are innovative and varied in a way that held my attention. The more I listened to it, the more impressed with it I was.
Cool. Yeah, so Light Creates Shadow, Ghosts Pass Through, Running from the Body. Um, this is a new lineup of musicians from the previous album. I think this is the first album to have this particular lineup. And yes, as you had mentioned, Jared Johnson is the bass player who has a YouTube channel that you should definitely check out called Beholden to the Riff. And as Heather mentioned, he breaks down songs, teaches you how to play them, does guitar tabs for them. And I had him on a Fistful of Faithful years ago as a guest. Great, great person, which was our entryway into this music, I think, through him. Um, and it was interesting because I did somewhat of a deep dive on Bandcamp, and I guess this album was recorded at Stone Gossard's studio in Seattle, the guitarist for Pearl Jam, and it was produced, engineered, and mixed by Matt Bayless, who has produced albums for Mastodon, Isis, Russian Circles, Pearl Jam, Soundgarden. So there's a lot of pedigree to the creation of this album, along with the fact that it's a kick-ass album. And a great description of it was something I also found on Bandcamp, combining progressive dynamics, uniquely delivered vocals, channeled lyrics that power through unorthodox arrangement. So, I guess we just disappeared. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
So
I think I heard everything that you said.
I think, yes, I think you did.
It just went out. It just went out for a little bit there.
Yes. Well, it doesn't matter because we got what you said, and that was more important.
No.
My personally my favorite track off of this album was Causal Horizon. But definitely it's worth checking it out. You can get it on Bandcamp. Check out Light Creates Shadow. And then last but not least, we have Neil Howell. And his album is called The Wasteland.
The Wasteland. And Neil Howell is from Missouri, and he sent in an email requesting, that we review his album, and it's going to be released April 14th. And it sounds like it's going to be released on all digital platforms, so it'll be widely available. This is, believe it or not, this is his 8th studio album since 2020. That is truly impressive. I feel like a lot of artists have so much inside of them that they just need to get out, that they need to express. And this album, it 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 has a lot of variety. I read that he's been influenced by a lot of different styles of music, and I think that definitely comes through. In the song The Cruelest Month, it starts with really nice piano, and it's kind of like a ballad, and then it gets heavier, and the song gets heavier as the song goes on. The next song, Handful of Dust, has more of a folk feel to it, and then the song Clairvoyant is very metal. There's some harsh vocals in there, and there's an interesting jazz like piece before it gets heavy again, which I thought was really interesting. The song Nothing has a grunge feel to it, and I think that was my favorite song on the record. The song Hurry Up had a lot of progressive elements to it, and the song Entering the Whirlpool has some great strings and also guitar work, and it's an instrumental song on the record. Falling Towers gets really heavy, and then Upon the Shore has really pretty vocal harmonies that I that was kind of unexpected, and it was kind of nice to hear that towards the end of the record. This album is it's both heavy and light, and it has a lot of different musical genres all included. The record is it's an hour long, and there's a lot of different styles to it. So I think people, whatever kind of metal that you listen to, I think there's something in there that you will definitely like. A lot of variety, which I thought was really, really interesting.
Yeah, he describes himself on Bandcamp as a one man army, which you hear that get thrown around from time to time, but with 8 albums in 3 years, you got to think that that's a pretty accurate moniker. Um, he also wrote, "My influences are too vast to name. I love rock, metal, alternative, classical, folk, and everything in between, and I want to make it all." Um, and he does. I think this album, as you had suggested, covers pretty much every base I could think of in terms of every kind of metal is represented, as well as some acoustic deliveries and vocal stylings. There's operatic vocals, there's death metal vocals. Um, yeah, my personal favorite was "Welcome to the Desert," which is the title track, um, which opens with acoustic and then the distortion kicks in. I didn't really know what to expect coming into this album because there was nothing to indicate what direction it was going in. I just knew his name, um, so it was a pleasant surprise to kind of see how creative he is as a one person army, dabbling in all of these different genres. But there is definitely something for everyone. So I would recommend checking this album out and then go back and do a deep dive on those 8.
uh,
I think it's right.
what's that? Are you there? You can hear me, right?
Now I
Andy?
can, yes. Yeah,
Okay.
I can hear
Okay.
you now.
Okay, cool. Okay. It just froze up there for a little bit. So,
Yeah. Yeah, I was saying check out the 8 albums plus there's something for everyone.
yes.
And I think
Yeah.
that's it for today. We went to Australia, we went to Portland, we went to Missouri. We're
Yes.
back in the saddle, and
Yes.
these were great choices.
Yeah. And then next we'll be back next week, and then next week it will be your choices for the albums that we listen to. So, that'll be
That's great.
fun.
Yeah, no, that'll be great. And I'm excited. Like I always love finding a band that we can talk about that's fun to listen whom I
Yeah.
know I will be revisiting. And all three of these musicians, I feel, starting with Khan. Khan will be in my playlist later today, probably. So
Awesome. I'm
cool. Well,
really happy to hear that.
yeah. No, well, it's half the fun is talking about the music, and then the other half is listening to it later
Yeah.
and really analyzing it. So,
Yeah.
but cool. Well, thank you so much, and for
Yeah.
all of
Thank
you out
you.
there, we will be back next week. So
Yes.
enjoy the rest of your weekend.
Yes. Yes. Thank you.